Good morning. I'm testing the Ecoworthy power station to see if it could work well as my camping setup. I've got two induction hobs, a fridge, only got this large microwave at the moment, but for camping we'd use a smaller one, kettle, and the Ecoworthy power station. So let's power it on, and we're fully charged. I'm not drawing anything to start with, so let's start by putting the kettle on. I rather think that's too much for it, and it's just refused to, well, it's showing overload, so we need a smaller kettle to use with the power station. Let's unplug that. So let's turn that off and then turn it back on again. Right, so let's reset it, no problem there. Now this is a Ecoworthy induction hob, and its big advantage is when you turn it on, it starts with a low power. So this is starting with 200. Have a bit of pan on it. Let's get a pan. So that makes more sense. Right, put a bit of pan on it now. And so the hobs should be happy with that. You can see that it's 1169 watts. And then it drops to 0. So it cycles. But it seems to be coping with that. Let's just start with one thing at a time for the moment. We've got the fridge plugged in, that's warming up. Now if we turn up the power of this one, it's getting 1162, that's the next setting, not one more. So it is using about the same power consumption, it just cycles more frequently on the higher power. And I can hear the fan coming on with this unit. It's up to 1,000 now. 200. This is on 1,400. This is still running, no problem. So that's just about boiled, that one. We'll keep the same hot water. Let's try the Von Chef. Now the Von Chef, when we turn it on, shows us coming on as full power. So 1,600. See on here that it is drawing high power, but the Ecoworthy unit is fine with that. But let's just turn it down. I don't usually run it full power. So what we usually do is just turn it on, immediately turn it down. We're not overloading this by starting the Von Chef. The Von Chef will trigger overload on some of the power stations because it comes on the full rating. It's drawing a maximum of a kilowatt on the low power setting. Right, let's put something in the microwave, see what happens. Put a bowl of water. 600, okay. So we've got the microwave on low power, we've got this simmering, so both at the same time, and the fridge is running. Turn off. So we've just got the microwave and the fridge running at the moment. This is still running its fan, so it's still cooling itself down. Although I'm trying to set this to be 600 watts, it's going up to 991 each time. We've turned this up to full power now. It's drawing 1,500 watts. So everything can be used, but we've got to watch that the combination doesn't go over what this power station will use, and the kettle we can't use. That is just drawing too much. So we need a smaller kettle. We're actually going to get a smaller microwave for camping as well. At the moment, the 12 volt output here is turned on, and we can see that here it's drawing 51 watts, so that's the fridge cooling down. And it illustrates a problem with any power station like this. If you want to keep that fridge running, this power station is also using up energy in order to run. It's the same for all of them. I think the Ecoworthy is more efficient than most. This is showing that at 86% it might run for 30 hours. I don't think it will. I think that the power station itself consumes just under 1 kilowatt hour in about 18 hours, although it's showing 30 hours here. So that just having the power station on actually consumes power. It's much more effective for devices that need a lot of power for a short time, and then you can turn off this unit. So for cooking, ideal. You can cook quite a lot of things, run it for an hour while you're cooking, turn it off, and then the power station's only used the amount of energy itself to run for an hour. If you're running it for 18 hours, 20 hours, this unit itself is going to consume quite a bit of energy. And that applies to any power station. They use power. So short bursts of power, excellent. Small amount backup for a couple of days, maybe. But you won't get a high power draw over a long period. So the longer you run this, the more the unit itself uses the power. That's the pan we use when we've got the whole family. Turn that one on, we'll leave that on low power, and let's see what happens if we turn on the second one. And I'm going to turn it down to 500, and the burn stuff is heated up. So we've now got 2 hobs, one simmering, one warming up the big pan, and we've got the fridge. Because induction hobs are not on continuously at a particular level, they come on at high power, and then they turn off, come on at high power, then they turn off. With 2 running, occasionally we'll get them both coming on together. And I'm looking at the output here, and occasionally with 2,300, so we have this 2,300, it's peaking at 2,300. Turn up the power to get it to boil a bit faster. So this is now on 1,000, this is still on simmer, 400. So this is warming up quite quickly. We're peaking at 246, maybe close to 247, 2,470. So it's looking as though the Ecoworthy power station can run 2 induction hobs at the same time big pan is up to temperature, so we never leave it running and boiling away. So I'll turn that one down to simmer. I've also got an imperial, and let's just see if we can simmer 3 big pans at the same time. Bulk catering. So all 3 are on simmer, and I'm just watching to see the peak is again every now and then you might get all 3 turning on at the same time. So it looks as though we can use 3 induction hobs as long as we only use one of them to heat a pan up quickly. We can simmer all 3, we can have 2 on simmer and 1 heating up. I don't think we'd risk having 2 heating up quickly at the same time. But for normal cooking, that's all that's required. Now this fan is running, there's quite a bit of warmth coming out of this. So it's clearly working quite hard. But it's not cutting out, so I'm going to assume that if it hasn't cut out, it's happy. And when we're cooking a meal, everything in one pan, 25 to 30 minutes is going to be the maximum, unless we're cooking rice when it will simmer for a bit longer. This one's now boiling, so we never run it more than that. So that would now be turned down to a simmer, and that's a big meal for a lot of people. And I can tell from the sound of the fan it's not working nearly as hard with 3 hobs on simmer. We've got these 3 simmering. Someone wants something in the microwave. It's on. Right, we've overloaded it. So with that microwave on full power, it just pushes, and 3 hot plates running, it pushes it over the top. So turn that off, turn it back on. Turning it off and on, we've reset it, 3 hobs on simmer. It won't take a full power being microwave at the same time as the hobs. But I'm guessing that a small microwave, 800 rating, might be okay. So it's certainly going to cope with our camping setup, provided we're not trying to have too much turned on high all at the same time. But it certainly is going to cope with our cooking requirements.